John Locke. By his order and about his business, they are his property, whose workmanship they are made to last during his, not one another's pleasure, and being furnished with like faculties, sharing all in one community of nature, there cannot be supposed any subordination among us that may authorize us to destroy one another, as if we were made for one another's uses, and the inferior ranks of creatures are for ours. John Locke was born in 1632. His parents died when he was very young in infantry. He was very self-motivated and a seeker of knowledge. He studied at the famous Westminster School beginning at 1646, and then continued all of his education at University of Oxford in 1652. He jumped right into work, working as a secretary, to the English ambassador to the Elector of Brandenburg. Then he practiced his medicine, which he had studied at the university. And then throughout his years, he wrote some different books on his philosophies. One of the main being Essay Concerning Human Understanding. In this, he presented his main philosophy that we're born with mostly a clear, ready brain to learn through experience. All knowledge, he said, is derived through our experiences and then how we view those experiences afterwards. Another one of his great works was the book Two Treatises of Government, which he reflected on his history and politics. The writing was outstanding and became influence for the founding fathers of America when they were drafting the Constitution. In this book, he outlined the need for checks and balances to secure the virtue of government due to corrupt people, and he viewed this kind of in an interesting way, that since he believes that all knowledge comes through experience, he said that not every man's experiences are completely true, just deriving from themselves. And so he thought it best to have as many people involved in politics as possible in order to work together to find the most pure knowledge, the most truth. John Locke was known as the father of English psychology after he built the model of how people develop, which was through experience and everything. And that's how they become a member of society, is through our process of development and experience, and then our communication with others. The idea of knowledge, of coming through experience, he referred it to as a combination of sensation and reflection. Sensation would be the experience, and then reflection would be how you analyze your experiences later on. And I kind of made the connection that knowledge is always in motion, as he thought that simple ideas turn into complex ideas, and this is through communication. I see that a lot in our, at least modern, education systems. There's always student discussions and group projects and open discussion in the classroom, and that definitely, I feel like that helps foster deeper understanding of a subject. Many times it's hard when it's just pure lecture and everything, but when you're getting involved and experiencing the topic, then you're able to have a better understanding and more knowledge. His ideas were widely viewed, highly viewed, there was a period of time when it kind of got rejected and pushed aside for utilitarianism. And then in the 20th century, he was back in the popularity of his philosophies, and many other philosophers used him as kind of a jumpstart for their different ideas and views of how to understand development of knowledge. He was also a big religious tolerant. He felt that was of great importance that we tolerate religion, because it's so important that those core values are never lost, because that's kind of the basis of virtue and good government and people participating in healthy ways with one another. One of his quotes is, "A sweet religion, indeed, that obliges men to dissemble and tell lies to both God and man for the salvation of their souls. If the magistrate thinks to save men thus, he seems to understand little of the way of salvation, and if he does it not in order to save them, why is he so solicitous of the articles of faith as to enact them by a law?" Locke thought it was of utmost importance to realize the strength of that religious basis that was given to people. Locke's views were so influential in starting the basis of many other influential ideas. John Locke, I see him as the trunk of a tree, the tree of understanding of how we grow and develop in knowledge, and then all the other philosophers branched off of his great ideas, creating a great tree.